On this episode of the Choose954 podcast.
Back here on the Choose954 podcast with Parkside Civic Association President Ken Crawford, very passionate Hollywood local here, from our new residences in the Cirque residences in downtown Hollywood. If you didn't know, we started a social movement called Choose954 to cultivate culture and community here in Broward County, where myself, Evan Snow, is very proud to be born and raised from, in an effort to keep people to know with all the great things that are going on, to make this a better place to live, and not just a better place to vacation. The point of the podcast is to connect you with passionate and interesting locals like him that are doing important work in the community. And thankfully, there is a lot of great stuff going on here in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
So without much further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself at a high level?
Great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I've lived in Parkside, or actually the city of Hollywood, for about 27 years. I actually rented on the beach at one point and decided to purchase in Hollywood because I thought downtown Hollywood was fantastic, and fell in love with Parkside neighborhood. And I've been living in that neighborhood for 22 years now. So,
How about that?
yeah.
Where is it for those that aren't familiar?
For those who don't know, we are south of downtown. We're a small little neighborhood that apparently a lot of people don't know about, which is great. It's between Federal Highway and Dixie Highway, Pembroke Road, and Hollywood Boulevard. So it's a little rectangle neighborhood.
Okay. And what is the role, for those that aren't familiar, of a civic association?
A civic association is a combination. It's not like a homeowners association, because we have developers who are members, we have business people who are members. So it's sort of like a combination of everyone who is actually in the boundaries of Parkside itself.
Okay. And what do you passionately do as president of the civic association?
President of association is sort of a job that nobody wants. Once you get in there and you're doing a job, everybody's like, no, just take care of it. You're doing a great job. So basically, I attend a lot of meetings with the cities, like the mayor, the commissioners. We tend to work together to better the neighborhood, work with the police department, the CRA, try to get grants for the neighborhood, improve the neighborhood. We're just going through a fantastic change. We had all our water lines replaced in Parkside. So that's fantastic. We got all new water lines. They're paving all our roads now. So that's like one of the things that we worked really, really hard with the city for.
And these are all important things.
These are very important things because Parkside is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Hollywood. So the infrastructure started to act up a little bit. So, and with what's going on with the fantastic development that's coming into Hollywood, the leaders, we said we should really sort of look at this, because Parkside right now has a lot of attention with developers coming in. So the city agreed and said, you know what, we should just jump in and let's fix the problems now so that we don't have any issues down the road.
Amen. Which, down the road,
right,
we saw the issues with the sewer pipes in the city of Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
And this happens with major cities and with older cities, and you can't ignore them forever.
Right.
Thankfully, you guys are very passionate and very proactive. And one of the things I found very interesting was some additions and upgrades to your website. You want to tell them some of the goals of what you guys are trying to do with attracting new business?
Yeah, what we're doing, our website, if you'd like to go to it, it's parksidehwd for Hollywood.com. It's a very informative website. What we're trying to do is promote our neighborhood, because we are the only neighborhood in Hollywood which has a walkable score of 82 out of 100, which is phenomenal. And what we want to do is promote not necessarily our neighborhood, but how downtown is so important for our neighborhood, because you can just walk to it. And downtown is so important that on our website we have a whole listings of restaurants downtown, activities going on downtown, and what's coming into our neighborhood versus new construction, new development. And it's not only really downtown, because we have a plethora of restaurants around our entire boundaries. From Pembroke Road, we have fantastic Argentinian, South American places, French places. We have Russian places on Federal Highway. So we're basically surrounded by cuisine of the world. So we could just walk any direction and find a fantastic place to eat. So we try to promote those businesses as well as others downtown, showing that, hey, we're all in this together. You know, we're improving our neighborhood, downtown's improving. So we just want to make it, you know, a conscious effort to sort of help the businesses downtown, which they really, really are excited about.
Amen. And people want to live in places where there are good culinary options, things to do, arts and culture. I often say nobody wants to live in a place that's dark and gray, that's devoid of culture. You know, you need to have this art and play element of the live, work, and play cycle. Nobody just wants to, you know, go to work, go home, rinse and repeat.
Right.
And you've kind of already outlined some of the great reasons, but for yourself and maybe new people who, like myself, have been considering choosing Hollywood, what are some reasons why people would choose to live in a city like Hollywood?
Hollywood is like, at one point, I know it's sort of cliche, but we're like the gem of South Florida. We're not overpopulated like you have in Miami, you have in Fort Lauderdale. We still retain that sort of coastal town community. We have, you know, you have like these beautiful neighborhoods, Parkside included, where you have the old Florida homes. You have homes built in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s in Parkside as well as throughout. So it has a lot of great architectural elements. But Parkside, especially Hollywood downtown, you're a mile from the beach. You can take your bike, you can walk to it. We have a shuttle service from downtown that you can pay $1. You don't have to worry about parking at the beach. You go right to the beach. It's, you know, Hollywood, it has a lot going for it. We're 10 minutes from the airport, if that. We're like 20 minutes from Miami. We're like 20 minutes from Fort Lauderdale. Without the congestion and all the chaos going on down there, we're very quiet. It's really sort of an untapped city to live in, or even to go and see.
Amen. Great place to raise a family.
Absolutely.
Quiet, still affordable. For those of you that didn't know, I just moved to Hollywood, to the Cirque here in downtown, and really enjoying it so far. Everybody's been very nice and welcoming and accommodating. And
you're enjoying the rooftop area.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also just everything that, you know, the things that I need easy access to. I have a Publix downstairs, I have a UPS store downstairs, there's a spa downstairs,
Right.
and then, you know, Arts Park's right across the street. The ArtWalk and, you know, downtown Hollywood is literally right here. Tons of restaurant options, so it's very convenient. And I'm really glad to have made the move.
Yeah, you have the Arts and Culture Center like a stone throw away. During the fall and winter, we have so many bands and movies in the Arts Park. So it's like it's just a great city because you can literally walk to everything in Hollywood, not out West Hollywood, but, you know, East Hollywood.
Yeah. And the circuit, which I've been using, the $1 a ride transportation option that Ken just mentioned, it's very convenient.
It is.
My bike's in the shop at the moment. I plan on biking to the beach. I also hear that I haven't done it yet, but I hear there's a great, like, critical mass community ride every last Friday of the month.
Yes, absolutely.
What are some other events or things that people should look forward to, either in Parkside or throughout the greater Hollywood community?
We have a wonderful thing the first weekend of every month. We have the classic car show.
Yep.
So you can go downtown and look at all these beautiful pieces of art of vintage cars and, you know, hang out with the owners, get to know them, see the beautiful cars, enjoy a sandwich, a cup of coffee. Oh, we have so many coffee shops now, it's fantastic downtown. But that's one thing. We have an art walk with a mural guide, which you happen to be, which is fantastic. We have live people doing art down there. The Art and Culture Center, we just have a new exhibit opening up Saturday, and they have all these wonderful fundraiser events going on. There's just so much to do in Hollywood. And right now is the great time because you're going into season.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have the heat and humidity anymore. People are walking out enjoying the night. You know, we have people in Parkside who walk downtown with their family, grab an ice cream, you know, walk around. It's Hollywood is such a great city to live in.
It is. It has a certain charm to it. This historic business association and feel to it. It still has a cinema Paradiso, which we're glad to start getting some more people out to. We're gonna the tours of the Art Walk that we host every third Saturday night of the month, traditionally at 7 o'clock. We actually just added a tour for 9 o'clock for the later crowd. and we're going to work to integrate the cinema further as part of the tour, and actually potentially end the 9 o'clock tour with a short film, maybe an art film or a documentary at the cinema, to get more people out to this great historic gem of downtown Hollywood. Unfortunately, cinemas are dying, and we want to support film, which is a form of art. There's also a great annual event coming up, Hollyweird, the annual Halloween festival.
Yeah.
It is Hollyweird.
It's Hollyweird. You know, they say it for a reason, but for a good way. And they close the street off, and it's just a big party fest, and it's great. You know, bring your families, dress up in costume.
They give like real, actual prizes.
Yeah,
like
good prizes. I was actually a judge one year, and that was fantastic.
So the Hollyweird's coming up. The ArtWalk's every third Saturday night of the month. I got word, and I don't know if it's public or if they've confirmed it yet, but we're looking potentially at the first Hollywood Pride during...
I think that's actually a thing.
It is confirmed?
It's confirmed.
Okay,
yeah.
Very good. Hollywood Pride, I believe January 22nd, which is actually during Fort Lauderdale Art and Design Week.
Right.
So you could partake in not just that, there's going to be events at the Hollywood Art and Culture Center, but these are great progressive steps, and somebody's either looking to further engage with the community, maybe somebody like myself is looking to relocate to a new city. You know, you want to go places, once again, where there's things to do,
right.
You know, ways to get involved if that's what you're looking for. And thankfully, there's a plethora of options here, in addition to the beach,
right.
in addition to the MEEC, right. The Marine Education and Environmental Center, with the phenomenal sea turtle whose name I forget now, but that's okay. So for more information on some of those initiatives, you can log on to floridashollywood.org, which is the website of the Community Redevelopment Agency, the CRA. If you didn't know about the CRA, they're dear friends of mine and supporters of Choose954, and I'm glad to support them. CRA takes tax dollars generally from the businesses in the CRA district, which is downtown and the beach, and they use that to put on events and promote events like the ArtWalk, like the Dream Car Classic Car Show every first Sunday night of the month, like Hollyweird, St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, yeah, all of those.
And they use these tax dollars from the businesses to drive more people out to downtown and to the CRA districts. Because if nobody knows about them, if there wasn't any marketing, it's not really doing anybody any good. One of the best ways I like to describe the ArtWalk to people, if you haven't been on the tour or you never heard of an ArtWalk before, the ArtWalk generally is our greatest community event of the month. It's really the only time.
It's the only time
in the community that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people come together over our love of art, culture, food, music.
Yeah, and it's not only Hollywood people. There's people who around Broward County come to that
Correct.
event. And one big event during the holiday season is the Candy Cane event.
Yep.
Huge event on the beach. I mean, it's like, I remember our association we had a float one time, and I think what happened, the reason why during the event you used to throw candy canes out, and I guess too many people got bruises because people winging them, so
that's at Hollywood for you.
It's at Hollywood for you, so no more tossing candy canes.
Not only can you find these events online on floridashollywood.org, if you come to the ArtWalk every third Saturday, there's an information tent, and at the information tent there's actually generally flyers of all these great events. That the information tent is on the corner of 20th and Harrison, right in downtown Hollywood, right in front of End to End Gallery and Patty Mac's Restaurant. That's where the tours start of the ArtWalk every third Saturday night of the month. At 6 o'clock there's a tour of the Mural Project, which is a world-class public art, street art project that the curator and project manager, Jill Weisberg, leads a free guided and curated tour every third Saturday at 6 o'clock. It takes about 45 minutes. Then there's a gap between her tour and the tour that I lead of the Hollywood ArtWalk, the galleries, the studios, and the artisan market participants. That role, and if you haven't been, we really try to connect the dots and educate people of the importance of the ArtWalk, the importance of arts to the community, and literally let you meet and speak to and get to hear from the people that make the ArtWalk great. That leads into Daniel Pontent's Painting with His Feet at 8 o'clock with Resurrection Drums.
And that's something you really need to see in person, because that will just knock your socks off. So
he can paint better with his feet.
Then yeah, it's amazing what he can do.
And with the drum circle there, with Resurrection Drums, it's phenomenal. That's at Zaza Italian Cafe, which is 1 block south of the information tent on 20th Street in Harrison. And then there's also every month 2 main either bands or performers at a stage on the corner of 21st in Harrison that we've had huge Grammy award-winning singers.
Yes, absolutely.
And this month 2 great jazz bands are playing. So we definitely encourage you, if you haven't been out there before, to come out. And then now we also have a tour at 9 o'clock. If you can't join for the 7 o'clock tour, you want to be part of the later crowd. So for that, you can also log on to Choose954, social media's website, find out more about great events that are going on. If they want to follow what's going on in Parkside, where can they find you guys on the social media?
On social media, we're on Instagram. You'll probably see my face all over that. Basically, what I do is talk about the restaurants, the stores downtown. I talk about what interesting changes are coming into Parkside, and talk about how unique and different the neighborhood is. And one thing that's really fantastic now is we have an influx of small boutique projects coming in, new development. And what we're finding out is that these are young families who are moving into these buildings. And they say the reason why they like Parkside is that we're so close to downtown that they can leave their cars at home and just walk and go downtown and eat with their families and then come home. So we're sort of like, this is fantastic. And that's what we're seeing more and more and more of. It's like we have people, we see more bicycles, and now we're starting to see more school buses because we have so many more families moving into our neighborhood.
Amen.
So that's great for downtown, and that's great for our neighborhood too. So we're finally turning around. We're starting to become an urban neighborhood that a lot of people are interested in wanting to live in.
Amen.
Yeah.
Great place to live.
Absolutely. And the arts park itself, there's a whole children's section that the kids can go to. And we have, certain Jamaican bands, classical bands, you name it, they have it. They have movie nights. It's Hollywood is like like I say on social media, it's the it place to live, and Hollywood is hot. That's my phrase.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And one other great initiative we were discussing before, that we're adding more art to downtown Hollywood.
Absolutely. The Parkside Civic Association has been working with the CRA and getting funding to do a sidewalk mural from Harrison Street all the way down to Washington Street. So we're trying to take art and move it around the Parkside neighborhood, and so that's one of the things we're trying to work with as well.
And that'll be installed on 21st Street?
21st Avenue.
21st Ave.
South 21st Avenue.
Yeah, right near Harrison.
Harrison, just south of Harrison to Washington Street, which is south.
It's great. There has been a few installed. Jill, Lisa Leota,
Yes.
George, Susan Goldberg, the whole Hollywood CRA.
The CRA is fantastic, and a lot of people don't understand that they work so hard to promote Hollywood, to promote the businesses. They even help out Parkside because half of our neighborhood is in the CRA boundaries.
I didn't know that.
So what we did is we worked with George and Lisa, and we got in the budget to do acorn lights into our neighborhood, which adds another charming feel with our tree-lined streets. So that's one thing that we got from the CRA as well. So we try to work with the CRA in the city to benefit our neighborhood, and it's everybody realizes that right now Parkside is like one of the neighborhoods everybody wants to live in. So we're working feverishly and very, very hard, the association and downtown and the city itself, with Wazir, who's a fantastic city manager. I gotta say, we're so lucky to have him. And of course, Josh Levy, who is probably one of the best mayors we've had in such a long time.
Amen.
And they do so much for our city and fight so much for our city. And they really appreciate all the hard work that we're doing as well to not only help Parkside, but downtown.
Amen. I'm not too political, but I will say, great city commission. Commissioner Shuham's great.
Absolutely. She's wonderful too.
Kevin Biederman's supportive.
Linda Sherwood, Adam Gruber, and Tracy Caleri, and Linda Anderson. So we have a fantastic commission right now. and they're working so hard for the city. And we're on the right path, and we're continuing to make Hollywood a better place to live, and it's absolutely working. So we got a great leadership, we have great associations, and it's just a fantastic place to live.
Amen. And I will tell you from my experience in Broward County working with other CRAs, this one definitely does get it. They are progressive. They do put their money where their mouth is. They do put money back into the community. They do, even just involved in the planning meetings for the ArtWalk, the amount of money that they spend on marketing to get people out, and
right.
This great community event, if nobody knows about it, it's not really doing anybody any good. So they run ads on WLRN, they run ads all throughout, and they really care, and they really actually do put a lot of time and energy. So we're very grateful for the CRA and their support. So hopefully you can check us out every third Saturday night of the month during the Downtown Hollywood Art Walk, which has been running now, I believe, obviously there was a little COVID gap, but about 16 years. Which is one of the longest running art walks that I know about. Dream Car Classic Car Show every first Sunday morning of the month from 10 to 2. Hollywood annual Halloween Festival, which is, I think it falls on the 30th.
The 30th this year.
Yep. St. Patrick's Day Festival.
Right. Candy Cane Parade.
Candy Cane Parade. First annual Hollywood Pride.
Exactly.
January 22nd. Then there's some other great events that go on throughout the year. There's also, I will mention, tons of great art, not just on the walls as part of the Downtown Hollywood Mural Project that we talked about. This is actually a local artist that exhibits and actually has a residency in End-to-End Gallery on Harrison Street. This is Tiago Magro, originally from Brazil, but actually grew up and went to school in Coconut Creek, still lives here in Broward County. Gallerist Jeremiah Heller, who initially had a place on Tyler Street and loved Hollywood so much he upgraded to a bigger space on Harrison Street, actually gave the whole entire space as a residency to Tiago, who he literally let him paint the whole entire gallery, which if you've ever been to an art gallery, it's not that many places that they let an artist paint the walls to complement his artwork. So they have some artwork here in the Cirque. We're in the clubhouse room here doing this podcast. So you can find out more about Tiago, some of the other great artists that are exhibited at End-to-End Gallery during the Art Walk and throughout the week, throughout the year. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'm Evan Snow at EvanSnow13 at Choose954. Always love to hear why you guys choose 954. Anybody else we should have on the podcast. Always open to sharing these local stories so you can get a better appreciation for the people that make our communities great. And we hope to see you guys out at some of these events that we outlined and talked about.
Absolutely.
And you guys have a good one. Cheers.